Alrighty, well, good morning and welcome back to an all-new state park here in Pennsylvania. I haven't said those words in quite some time, but we are currently here at State Park number 31 for Maksim Outdoors. And you've probably already seen behind me and seen in the thumbnail and the title, we are here at a bucket list item for me, Ricketts Glen. I've been thinking about coming to this park since I was probably this tall, but we are finally here. And you probably can recognize the truck here parked in the parking lot. Another little collaboration video, but I'll take you into Cabin E and give you another little introduction of a guy that you've probably seen around on a few of my videos. And there he is, Chris from Hiking with Ricky. We're back at an all-new state park. Really excited. We're going to be bringing you probably 2 or 3 videos along this trip. So yeah, you ready to tackle Ricketts Glen?
Heck yeah, I'm excited, man. This is like a bucket list park for me.
Absolutely. So we're not going to start the trip off on the Falls Trail that you probably think we would. We are actually going to take you to some old ruins today. We're going to head on down to the Cherry Run Trail, to the Little Cherry Run Trail, and then meander our way out along the Mountain Springs Trail. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the history. We'll see some old ruins and maybe even get some more cool views along the way. But yeah, Maksim Outdoors, Hiking with Ricky, back at it once again in probably one of the most popular premier state parks here in Pennsylvania. Wow, nice.
We are here.
All right, well, we have hit the trail, and this is pretty much your first view of Ricketts Glen State Park. An absolutely gorgeous day here. Couldn't really ask for better weather in the winter. Probably already said that 3 times already, and we're only a minute into the video. But some little tidbits of information about the state park. It's actually located in 3 different counties. I believe we are currently in Luzerne County. Is that how you say it?
I don't know. Luzerne.
Luzerne. So we're gonna keep heading on down the trail here. The state park is just a little bit over 13,000 acres. And today is gonna be all about some history about Mr. Bruce Ricketts that came to this area back in the 1800s and made a big name for himself. And obviously the state park is named after Bruce Ricketts. So we'll be talking a little bit about more about him as we head on down the trail here. So let's get going. All right, well, just a few hundred feet into the Cherry Run Trail just behind me here, you can kind of make out some of the man-made ruins from the past. I don't know how well you can see that concrete structure off in the distance, as well as this little pile of dirt. But we talked a little bit about Bruce Ricketts, the man himself, the man that this area was named after. So he was a bit of an entrepreneur. He came to this area in the 1800s, and he actually served in the Civil War, eventually becoming a colonel in the artillery division. So he was one of the most interesting men in Pennsylvania back in the day. But like I said, he was a bit of an entrepreneur as well. He would have came to this area, owned about 80,000 acres of land, believe it or not. Like I said earlier, this state park is only 13,000 acres now, just to give you a little bit of scale. But he would have harvested most of the old growth forest in the area, except for the Glen. So he saved the Glen hardwood, but he did open a few hotels in the area, as well as one of his most ambitious plans. He wanted to make hydroelectric power here in the early 1900s. So he had a couple daughters, one of which was named Leigh, and this would have been Lake Leigh back in 1905, 1907. Unfortunately, he kind of cut around the corners to make a profit, and he built these dams out of old timber and dirt pretty much. And when you put timber and dirt together to form a dam, as you can guess, probably not a good idea. So the dams were eventually starting to fail. His wife talked him into pretty much giving up the hydroelectric idea, and that whole premise of making hydroelectric power was pretty much scrapped. So the dam stood until 1957, and eventually they did say, okay, let's pull the plug on it, and they let out the dam, released all the water, and just over this hill here is what we're going to see that is left of, we'll call it Leigh Dam here. So let's go check it out. All right, well, I'm a little off trail. You can see the Cherry Run Trail just below me here, but we are standing along the banks of what would have been Leigh Lake. And as you can see, not much has regrown in the area, if you can see on through the hemlock just in front of me. But yeah, Pennsylvania was pretty much famous for its dam failures back in the 1800s and 1900s. Just look at the Johnstown flood as well as the Austin Dam failure. And I'm guessing they didn't want another one here. So luckily enough, they ended up draining this lake down. But some cool views of Leigh Lake and Leigh Dam here in the winter months. I'm sure it's a little harder to see during the summer, but we are going to head on down and give you some more views, but still pretty interesting to see. And this is literally just at the beginning of the little Cherry Run Trail, or Cherry Run Trail. So all right, well, a couple seconds ago you saw me up there, and I figured I would take you down to the base of the dam, and you can make out some of the concrete structure just beyond some of these hemlocks here. And this kind of puzzles me because I read about this area and it said that this was pretty much made of timber and earth, a dirt dam pretty much back in the day. But as you can see, it looks like it's all concrete. But anyway, you can see where they probably breached the dam back in 1957. Not sure if they would have used concrete or what. Sure, the surge of water coming through here would have been pretty crazy if you were standing here back in the 50s. Nice little porthole there. That's kind of interesting. And I want to say this is Cherry Run here. Pretty scenic, and nature just seems to be retaking this place. Definitely worthwhile checking this out if you ever find yourself in Ricketts Glen. I mean, look at this place. Definitely gives me some vibes of Austin Dam. And you can see Cherry Run heading on downstream here. Check that view out. But yeah, here it is. That's what we came to see today. What I'm calling Leigh Dam. I would have held back Leigh Lake up until 1957. This might be the coolest thing we see today, but if it is, it was worth it. All right, well, you can see the dam off in the distance there, and Cherry Run kind of heads on down this little hill here. And it does look like there is a tiny little waterfall right on the other side of the dam here. I think I read something about a waterfall being down in this area as I almost just eat it. But here you are. Nice little, maybe 15-foot waterfall. Let's see if we can get a little closer. All right, there you have it. I'm not really sure if this is a named waterfall or not. There are literally so many waterfalls in the Ricketts Glen area. Some of them are unnamed, so this might be one of them. But literally, right on the other side of the dam here, you're presented with this, I don't know, we'll say 12 to 15 foot tall waterfall. But still, worth a while if maybe you can't do the Falls Trail. Come down here, check this out. Definitely a nice sized waterfall. Yeah, don't try this at home. There is jagged old rebar and steel poking on through this old dam here. But couldn't pass this up. An old view, well, not an old view, but a view of what would have been old Lake Leigh, or Leigh, named after one of Ricketts' children. So this would have just been a big old lake. Back up to the 50, back into the 50s. And as you can see, nature is taking it back over. We're not going to get too much further. As you can see, pretty much a straight drop down. That would not be fun. That would not be a good way to start my Ricketts Glen trip, but hemlocks and an old lake. Alrighty, well, after a fairly uneventful cherry run trail, we have arrived at yet another trail junction. As you can see, we can continue on towards Mountain Springs Road, but we are going to veer off to the right here and catch the little cherry run trail that is about a mile long, and then we will catch our last trail of the day, which kind of forget what it is at this point, but yeah, typical winter hike. But we're going to continue on down towards the little cherry run trail, and we'll show you anything interesting along the way. All right, well, I believe we are still following along Cherry Run here, and as you can see, got a nice set of cascades here. I don't think these would quite qualify as a waterfall, but still pretty cool nonetheless. Let me hop over this down hemlock and give you a better view of the creek here. Yeah, check that out. Well, I'm pretty much standing right in the middle of Cherry Run here, as you can see. And behind me here, you can make out, it looks like old foundation. So I'm gonna assume that this is one of the old mills that were here in the park. Like I said, Mr. Rickett himself would have came out here, logged this entire area, and then he had multiple sawmills out along various streams and creeks, probably including this one. So it does look like this would have been an old foundation. So pretty cool find that if you're walking along the trail, you probably wouldn't have noticed otherwise. So yeah. All right, well, our journey down Cherry Run is continuing. Figured I would show you and stop here for just a second. Cascade after waterfall. Doesn't get old, and you can see a nice old bridge that we crossed there just a minute ago. This 1 mile trail is taking us forever just because we stop and try to film every little cascade along the way. Really magical trail, highly recommended. Alrighty, well, if you're getting tired of cascades and waterfalls, then I don't know what to tell you. We are moving down Little Cherry Run, or Cherry Run, pretty much at a snail's pace, but just check out these views. Like, I knew Ricketts Glen was going to be mind-blowing. I knew it was going to be one of the better state parks I've ever been to, just from seeing videos and reading books and whatnot, but wow. And the crazy part is we are not even on the Falls Trail yet. This is just kind of a spur-of-the-moment trail that we pretty much just picked at the last moment. Just look at this. Yet another waterfall with some cascades coming on down Cherry Run. But yeah, if you come to Ricketts Glen, don't just focus on the Falls Trail. This is pretty amazing. This beats most trails that I've done in Western Pennsylvania. So yeah, just feeling really fortunate. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this video. I'm having a blast out here. Pretty sure Chris is having a blast. And yeah, I'll leave you with yet another shot of one of these waterfalls along Cherry Run. All right, well, we have reached the end of the Mountain Springs Trail. It was decent, nothing too crazy, no real creek views, a little stream crossing here and there, but overall, kind of a boring trail. We've made it back to yet another intersection here, and it looks like the trail is pretty much a stream, as you can see, so we're gonna be traversing this before we get back up to the old abandoned dam. And Chris was just saying how the sign over here kind of looks like something out of the Looney Tunes. So yeah, we got about a little over a half a mile left before we get back to the old abandoned dam, and we'll be calling it a day. So let's get going. All right, folks, well, all good things must come to an end. As you can see, we've made it back to the falls here, and just ahead of me is the old dam. So that's gonna wrap up part one here from Ricketts Glen State Park. Hopefully you guys had as much fun as we did. We'll see you next week from back here. We're gonna be tackling probably one of the most popular, beautiful hikes in all of Pennsylvania as we head out onto the Falls Trail. So if you're not already, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like if you can, and leave me a comment. Tell me what your favorite state park is, or if you've ever been here to Ricketts Glen. But yeah, I'll leave you with this view of the old dam.